Tuesdays, podcast by friends for friends. I'm Adam, here with Margot
Hi.
and Ryan.
Hello.
How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Good. Yeah.
Ryan and I met up in person, which I think is the first time I've seen you in person since before COVID.
I think that's right, yeah. Because I think I saw Margot last in
Yay.
2021.
Yeah. Still been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while
man.
since like March of 2020.
Yeah,
Dang. What a time.
Absolutely
what a
crazy.
time.
I remember I jokingly said, see you all in the fall.
Oh
That didn't work.
man.
And it was not to be.
It was not to be at all. What a
No.
wild time.
But we're back.
Yeah.
You guys saw each other in person. It's
We're
happening.
3 years later, yeah.
We've been talking about going on a trip.
Yeah.
Guys,
So now I'll
imagine
see
this.
you too, Margot.
Yeah.
Imagine this. An episode where we're all in the same room.
Be crazy.
A game changer.
Hear me out. I know it sounds crazy. Oh my god. Yeah, definitely hoping to do a meetup in 2024. That's my New Year's resolution.
Yeah. Dang, crazy it's already 2024. I feel like
It's
an old
not a
person
real
now where
year.
it's like, dang, wow, this year already. I guess that is
I
how time works.
I have so many thoughts on just the idea of time, but before
The concept of time.
yeah, I actually genuinely did have a conversation about like the time relativity theory earlier today, and it's just something that I don't understand but want to so badly. But anyway, I do feel like every single years feel quicker.
Mhm.
And I don't know if that's a shared experience or what that is.
I don't know.
But
I mean, I kind of feel the same. I don't know if it's something that happens just as you get older, that
mhm.
you're busier,
Yeah.
there's more, busier, more like stress probably makes things go faster.
Yeah.
So I feel like as a kid, everything like every day was so long and there's
Yeah.
so much opportunity and excitement.
There's also more variety in the year, I feel like. Like you have like school, you have a full summer vacation, like
Mm.
there's, winter breaks too and everything like that. I don't know. It just feels like more monotony. It's like quick, quick, quick kind of thing.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Definitely.
Um
Do you know? Here, a little trivia question for you. What is the longest year in human history?
2020, am I right? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it like as each year happens, that's the longest one? Is time expanding?
It's actually 46 BC
Why? What happened?
because the way the Roman calendar used to work is that the
Um,
priestess pontificates, whoever basically was the religious leader of Rome, which at the
mhm.
time was Caesar, they have to come and put the calendar back in sync because they had a bunch of months, 14 months, and not all the days were even. And so
Okay.
it was wildly out of sync because Caesar just been off campaigning at war and forgot to do that. So then
Crazy
he was
guy.
like, all right, we're gonna do a new system, 12 months, spread out all the days, and every 4 years we'll have a leap day. But in order to get it back in, they were 55 days off. So that year is actually 455 days.
Huh.
Hmm.
Did you learn this with your YouTube guy?
I did, yes.
Fun. I love that as a part of
Yes,
Caesar's
Caesar to
history.
thank
I
for
mean,
the calendar. That's why,
is that where all the months are? Like July, August.
because every day was supposed to be 30, and then they had some days left over, so they gave a couple months 31, and then February is superstitious, so they took away a bunch of days from that.
Okay. But I was thinking names because July, Julius, August,
Yes.
Augustus. So
Yeah, those months later changed. And then August, the reason it's called that is because that was the entire month of the campaign of Augustus in Egypt.
There you go.
Anyway, on this week in Rainy Tuesdays, we're going to
yeah,
be
no,
saving the Roman
screw the
Empire.
original.
No.
Yeah, screw the original topic, holiday theme or whatever. This is a
No.
Roman Empire history podcast now.
God.
Mhm.
What was that TikTok again? That was like, remind me of your gender again. um, these are for girls only. Um, anyway,
The original inspiration for Santa Claus, Saint Nicholas, was part of the Roman Empire,
I swear to God,
and
everything goes back to it.
that is our hook into the topic for this episode. Which
A transition.
go for it, Margot. What are we doing?
No, you nailed it. We're gonna write another movie. Last Christmas, instead of giving you all our hearts, we gave you a Chicago Christmas holiday rom-com Hallmark movie. That was the word I was looking for that whole time.
Mhm.
But I think there are only two brands of Christmas movie. It's Hallmark and Santa. Like Hallmark and then like childlike wonder essentially. And so since we did Hallmark last year, I figured we could do another movie episode and do the Childlike Wonder Santa variant this year.
Sounds good.
That's the pitch.
Sounds good.
So, real quick, I want to set some ground rules before we get into it. You guys said you'd been already thinking about this ahead of time.
Yes.
Does that mean you want to forego any sort of roles of like what we might incorporate with like hero-esque things? I'm fine with it if we want to forego them,
Um,
but
I just have like
We'll see.
okay. Have
We'll
them
I
as
just have
just
a
ignore
enemies.
them
least
if we
one
want,
thought.
like we do with
Okay,
all our
Yeah.
rules.
fair enough.
Yes.
All right, get out your d20s.
My
Who's
favorite
doing
number.
genre? Who's doing hero villain?
I'll do villain.
Okay,
All right. Genre then.
you got it.
16.
16 is superhero, which what is Santa
Yeah.
if not a
Santa is a
Okay,
superhero?
wait.
superhero.
That fits in my idea actually.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Okay.
Villain is 3.
Villain is 3. Um this villain has a point, but the way he wants to go about it is a little bit iffy.
Let me re-roll.
All right, I have an
Okay.
idea. No, I have an idea.
Okay. We'll stick with that idea then. And if we don't have an idea or it turns out bad, we'll go with 6.
6 on the hero is a very innocent hero.
For villain.
Which well, I know, but I was gonna put that 6 roll on the hero, because we also need a hero roll.
Oh, I see.
But innocent also works for a Santa-esque character, right?
Yeah.
Like
He's a superhero. And it's
yeah. Okay. That's our pitch. With the possible reroll for a villain.
okay.
There we go.
All right. Here is my concept that I was thinking about earlier.
Wait, I gotta
Um,
start a timer.
Oh,
Oh god.
timer. Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Um,
I cheated and it worked in advance, but
that's fine. I'm setting a timer for 40 minutes. Is that fair?
Sure.
yeah.
All right.
That works.
Started. What's
All
your
right.
pitch?
Have you seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
I have not
Only parts of it.
actually.
Okay,
I'm
then
so sorry.
ignore that if you haven't seen it. And we all seen Avengers Endgame, right?
For sure. The same movie, I'm sure.
Well, they're actually not that dissimilar because it's both time travel.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so my idea was we have your main guy Santa, jolly old Saint Nick, the whole red get up, all that. But there's a threat to Christmas. And so he needs to enlist the help of all the other versions of like other cultural versions or other like mythological figures
Like
for winter
Krampus.
Yule, like Krampus, and assemble a team to save the holidays everywhere because there is some kind of existential threat to all of it. And so they go on like little like Avengers Endgame ask or Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure are the same thing where they like go to different periods or so it could be like time periods or just different locations around the world collecting all of these people in a big super Santa team to save the day.
I love this. One line that we have to incorporate is Santa's working on his sleigh, and someone's like, "You can't possibly go back in time." And he's like, "I fly over the whole world in one night. You think I don't know how to time travel?"
It's true. We've seen Santa do a lot of stuff, but we haven't seen him time travel.
I mean, I'm sure there's a time travel Santa movie out there somewhere,
I don't
but
think so. I think we're the first.
This is a
there's an
fully original
original
idea.
idea here.
Yeah.
Okay, I like this. What's the threat? Like my pitch for a villain with that trope of villain is that he's anti-capitalist. He hates it, and he thinks that
Mm,
Christmas has gone too corporate. And so he wants to get rid of the
Half the universe.
holidays. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He wants to snap and get rid of half the universe to fix climate change. No, he wants to like get rid of Christmas because it's like capitalist incarnate,
Yeah.
and
oh, I like
so
that.
like, and people are like, guys, like, yeah, it's capitalist, and we hate capitalism too, but like, you can't do this.
Yeah.
But we love our gifts.
Yeah. What about the holiday cheer?
I like this.
Um. Okay.
It's a good villain.
Yeah, I like that.
Perfect.
The idea I had was someone mad that Santa's like breaking and entering into all these homes, and so he creates a home security system. But that could be both, actually.
It could be
Where
both. Like, that's
he's
part of
like,
his way to stop Christmas.
yeah, like Night Before Christmas or Grinch of like stealing all the presents. Maybe he creates something to destroy the presents as they're dropped. So Santa like comes down the chimney and gets like electrocuted, and then the presents fall and are like burst into flames because there's some kind of trap set for him.
Horrifying.
Home
The
Alone
chimney
sort of
was on.
situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
Okay.
the villain's like a kid, a really smart kid.
Kevin
Oh,
McAllister.
man.
It's just Kevin McAllister, but he's older
Mhm.
now, and
But he's still playing, like,
he's
a
gotten real
six-year-old.
punk and anti-capitalist.
Mhm. That's really what they
Fair
should do
enough.
with the new Home Alone movie. Is just
I
Kevin
think so.
McAllister, but he's old.
I really think so. It would have been a horrifying movie of just this man slaughtering other men instead of the jolly time of a child slaughtering men. But, like, it would have been great.
I like the part where he
Um,
electrocutes the guy and he turns into a skeleton, and then is fine the next scene.
I mean,
Yeah.
isn't that how it works?
Um,
Um,
Another idea for the villain. Maybe
okay.
villain is trying to get rid of Christmas, so the villain can also go back in time and is trying to like remove Christmas from different cultures. That's why
Ooh.
Santa
Mm.
has to go
That's why
back
you
in
had to pick it
time.
up.
He's got to chase
Mm,
after the guy.
that's
I'm
fun.
I'm doing some brief. I did not do this research ahead of time, so now I'm hastily reading about other cultures, Christmas or Yule or winter, and a
What do
lot
we
of them
got?
are quite threatening, like Krampus, and then there's this one
Travis.
called from Iceland, Grilla, who is a giant who lives in a cave, comes down from the mountains during winter to snatch up disobedient children so she can take them home and eat them.
Hmm.
So it could be like Thor: Love and Thunder, where someone's killing the various Christmas gods or entities. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, these ones are kind of bad, but you're killing the spirit of the holidays. These are
Yeah.
spirit figures.
I
Ooh,
like
I
that.
like that.
Thor: Love and
That's
Thunder, but
fun.
good.
Yeah.
If only it had more Natalie Portman.
Yeah,
Um,
And just they should have toned down on the jokes.
yeah. So we throw a Lady Santa in.
ooh, that's gotta be one of them,
Mrs.
right?
Claus is
Yeah.
Mrs.
coming back.
Claus, yeah.
I would actually like Mrs. Claus. I watched the Disney Plus The Santa Clauses, and they
Mhm.
like
Okay.
give Mrs. Claus art because she's like, why is Mrs. Claus just an old lady that bakes cookies?
I will say my favorite is the, like, line, I forget which claymation it's in, but where she's like, "Eat, Santa, eat." And I say that all the time whenever my friends don't eat enough food. I'm like,
I
"Eat,
think that might be
Santa,
from
eat."
Year Without a Santa
It
Claus.
might be.
Yeah,
It's
That's
either that or
he's sick
Rudolph.
and he's trying to, yeah.
Yeah, a good time. But, okay, so and I mean, like, part of the whole thing with Endgame is, like, multiple people are going in different places to get different people. Like, it's a whole team up kind of thing. So we
Mhm.
could have both Santa and, Mrs. Santa. She needs a name. I can't keep calling her, like
Mrs. Claus.
Mrs. Claus.
yeah. Who is she outside of him? I need to know.
Exactly. That's the thing. There is none.
Oh,
That's what the Santa Clauses delves into.
That's heartbreaking.
on Disney Plus, starring Tim Allen.
Sponsored by Disney Plus. It's not.
Season 2 out now.
But yeah, I think that could be fun is to have them both go on separate things to like get people. Um what uh other Santa-esque figures are sticking out to you?
Uh, they're all quite similar to just normal Santa. So there's not a whole lot of
That's
um
okay though, right? Like
differences here. There's oh boy. Uh
it's a bit
Yol
Spider-Verse-esque.
well, this is Finnish, so this is not absolutely not how it's pronounced. Joulupukki?
Yola
J Joulupukki? I don't know. But it's just Santa. It's an old man with a beard, tight red leather pants, and a fur coat, and travels on a sleigh pulled by reindeer. Like there's nothing different about this one.
Fair enough.
There is Italy has Befana, who is a witch who rides around on a broomstick with a black shawl and then enters through chimney and leaves candy and gifts and coal to people who've been bad.
I feel like my
So
mom read a children's book about her to me as a child because the name sounds way too familiar. But fair enough. Um,
as a side note, it is interesting reading about all these different ones and being like, oh, so modern day Santa is just a mash together of all of these.
Yeah.
right. I think that's fair. Um,
There's the Yule lads. These are also from Iceland. These are trolls. They're the sons of that cannibal lady I mentioned earlier.
Okay.
guys, this
Um,
is great. So she's the
there's
one who
13
has to
of
be
them.
killed first, right?
Yes, and then
They
they
gotta get the Yule lads
enlist the
together.
Yule lads, and the Yule lads
Exactly.
seem better. They're not eating people.
Perfect.
They just prank or scare children who are misbehaving. They do have a cat who will eat kids who didn't get
Perfect.
clothes for Christmas. But they give gifts to kids with good morals.
Ah,
This is great. Okay, so that's got to be like our first big one, right? Of like the villain kills their mom, um, who's the scary female Krampus. I forget what you said her name was. Um, and then
Grilla.
Grilla, who kills Grilla, and then the troll kids are like ready to jump into the action and help Santa.
maybe though the Yule lads are split up, and Santa's got to get them together. He's got to unite them again.
Ooh, that's
Gotta
fun.
get the
That
band back
helps.
Yeah.
together.
Guys, we're getting the band active. That's pretty good. I like that a lot. Um, yeah. I know it's in like You Were That in Santa Claus. I don't know any sort of copyright sort of things with this, but how do we feel about the Miser brothers?
I like the Miser Brothers.
Yeah.
If we're looking for like famous mythological figures, we're gonna run low on things that people recognize. So
Mhm.
I do think we have to put in people like the Miser Brothers, who might not necessarily have a mythological basis, but people know who they are.
And maybe Rudolph too. Maybe
Yeah.
Frosty. Um, all of the iconic
As Santa starts
Christmas.
opening the portals,
Yeah.
all these
Oh my
people are coming
god.
in. Will
Um,
Ferrell's elf shows up.
perfect. Yes. Oh my god.
Oh my
The
god.
Polar Express from the Polar Express shows up.
It's insane. Oh my god. I do think there's like a really good bit there about it being on our earth and Santa coming to Will Ferrell and being like, no, you actually do need to help put on your costume.
Yes.
I think that'd be really fun.
Mhm.
So we have to factor into the budget Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Yeah. That can
$56 Will
be
Ferrell.
Yeah.
that's
Oh
really great.
man. Okay. So 30 minutes left. How does this like start? I think we're starting with the Grilla bit, right?
Yes,
Or like,
Grilla.
there's got to be a little bit of like exposition before that, right? Or is it just
I
it
mean,
was gone?
maybe well, have we decided the hero? Is our hero just Santa?
Oh, I think it should be Santa, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
maybe we start another successful Christmas. Santa gets back to the North Pole, but then he
Yeah.
gets attacked by a shadowy figure we don't see, but he's like fine. And then
Okay.
it's like, ooh, someone's
Well,
trying
how
to
about
end
this is
Christmas.
Mrs. Claus swoops in and saves him,
Oh, yes.
and that's like, oh no, there's someone, and then they're like, do 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 do, hey, Krampus, I
Yeah.
know you're usually busy, but something just happened. Have you heard? And then he's like, I actually just went to this gorilla lady and she's dead. And they're like, oh no. And then that sets off the adventure.
Hmm.
I like this a lot. The only change that I would make is I feel like Krampus should be a like thing right before the climax of like
Oh,
you know who we have to get. Um
ooh, I like that a lot actually. Then
uh,
maybe just like Befana from Italy, like
yeah,
someone a bit more normal. I like that a lot. If Krampus is like, "Oh, we don't like him, but it's gonna be
he's our
useful."
only hope. Okay, this
That's
is
really
great.
funny.
Okay, so Mufana is like, "Oh my god, you'll never guess." Like, Grilla, I don't know what the kids are gonna do. And then that's Santa's like, the kids, and you know, those trolls.
Yeah, the Yule
The
lads.
Yule
Yeah.
Lads. Such a good name. Um, and I do like the idea of them being a little scattered.
Yeah, very scattered. They're
Yeah.
like pranking each other.
Hmm.
They're
Mhm.
stealing like key parts of the opera. Like you know in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, like Baby Groot is kind of like that of
Yes.
like
Yeah.
an active hindrance to the plan. But he pulls through in the end and saves the day.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think that's very fair. And like maybe one of the big moments of like defeating the villain at the end of the movie is the Yule Lads do a prank.
Well, what is the big save the day? So the villain has
Yeah.
been killing these mythological winter figures, and he
Yeah.
has this plan to do away with Christmas. Should it be
Mhm.
like he's assembled some kind of army, uh, Thanos style, to attack the North Pole and destroy Santa's operations?
Um, I feel like it should be a year later when Christmas would be happening is like the big thing.
Okay.
Um,
Maybe it's like he started setting traps around houses and they need all these
yeah.
people because Santa can't do it alone of like, I
Yeah.
can't watch my back. We have to work together here to disassemble things.
Like Christmas still needs to happen. I know there's this
Mhm.
big threat to it, but like we still gotta make it work. Um, okay. Because I do really like the idea of it being he's coming home from like a successful Christmas, and
Mhm.
that's when like this threat starts. But I think like in order for it to be like a big Christmas movie, it does need to take place over Christmas and not like right after it. So I think like
Yes.
the
Maybe the intervening year is them
yeah,
Yeah.
a
like
gathering
uncovering
like
plot,
yeah.
gathering people, and then
Mhm.
the finale, the final third of the movie is
Is also Christmas.
Christmas next year.
Yeah.
They've got their team. They know mostly what they're facing, and
Mhm.
they're gonna
Yeah.
Okay.
like Endgame of we've snapped, we've brought it back. Now Thanos is here. This army, we got to get everyone to fight him,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but more magical.
I think another way you could do it with the villain is if you want to incorporate that time travel, maybe like he's going back in time to change people's like cognition and like make them forget,
Oh,
like
Mm.
make them
that's
forget like Gorilla
good.
even exists, and then maybe it's like a Back to the Future thing where they like fade
Oh.
away because no one believes.
Oh, I like that too.
Oh, that's really good, and that feels
And
more Winter
yeah,
Wonderlandy.
and it could be then so because Santa can always do Christmas all on his own. He travels the whole world in a day, but maybe he can do that on one day, but he can't go back in time and do previous years, and now they have
Yeah,
an inter-timeline fight, and that's why they gotta get all these other figures to be like, "Okay, we're gonna work together. You're gonna be in this time period, and you're in this time
yeah.
period," and everything.
Ooh,
Maybe the way it starts is Santa's flying back into North Pole, successful night, and then all of a sudden Rudolph disappears. And so then he's lost in the snow, and then
Mm.
Mrs. Claus has to go and like
find him with, like, a
on the ground
lantern.
guide him down.
Yeah. I like that
I
because
like that a lot.
that's like immediate threat. Oh my god,
Mhm.
where is he? Kind of
Beloved
thing.
character gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes, I like that a lot.
yeah. And it does fix the issue of like wouldn't have to be like Grilla's gone. Also, Grilla, the magical creature from this kind of thing. Like you don't need to explain it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, so Rudolph
that can be
goes
like the
missing.
Rudolph goes missing, that triggers it, and then
Yeah.
that's when they start investigating and finding
And like
others.
meeting all these other people.
Like, maybe
Okay.
that's when they meet the Yule lads are scattered because
Yeah.
their mother has been killed, and they're like,
Yeah, or
"What do
is
we
missing
even
or
do?
whatever we say. Yeah.
How can we give gifts without our mom? We're too distraught." And
Yeah.
then it's like, "There's something bigger at stake. We gotta get together and get this thing."
Prank the right people.
Give the gifts to the good people and prank the bad.
Yeah.
Okay, I love this. What are a few different ways to like um because to me it sounds like there's going to be little fights leading up to the big fight. And so the little fights could either be the like going back in time, which I do like, or the like now in our current timeline, um, they're like dying kind of thing. So I also like, but I feel like we need to pick one. Um, I do like time travel. Um,
We could drop the time travel. I don't know if that
okay,
one's as necessary,
fair
um,
enough.
although I do like it. But it might not fit exactly,
Yeah.
for,
Okay,
like, one movie's plot line.
That's true.
Endgame
fair
already had a
enough.
lot going on in it.
You could even keep
Fair.
that it's like the villain is doing something to change like the people's cognition. That doesn't need to
Yeah,
be time
that's true.
travel, or you could scrap that altogether.
I mean, I do like
Um,
that as a well-intentioned villain of like, okay, capitalism bad. This
so if you
holiday has
forget about
become
it,
too focused on gifts and presents and not like cheer. And so he's doing something to shift perspective. But then it's like, okay, well, that's a good result. But you can't like mind control the world into behaving how you want.
Yeah.
so this could go one in two ways. Do we want people to be mind controlled and forget about these mystical beings, and then the mystical beings are dying because of it, a la Tinkerbell? Or do we want it to be a thing where like these mystical beings are being killed or like removed from time and space in some sort of mystical way? And then people are like, what's a Rudolph? I've never heard of him. Because they were removed. Like
Hmm.
chicken or egg, I guess. Um,
I don't know because they're both good.
I
Yeah.
know, but we gotta pick.
I feel like them fading away and then people like not knowing what they are.
Okay, so mystical creature goes first, and then people are like, "I've never heard of a Rudolph. What the fuck are you talking about?"
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I like this. Obviously, mystical creatures are immune from that because they're mystical.
Yes. So
So that's
they
why
know.
Santa's like, "Oh my god, where's Rudolph?"
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, love that. So then they're being cherry picked, and at first Santa puts out like shit. I don't know if he'll do this or not. This is a pitch. Maybe he like puts out stuff to like the people of Earth and is saying like, you still gotta like you gotta believe me, Rudolph is real or something like this. Like breaking
Mhm.
news. Santa's in the loony bin. He thinks he had a
Santa's
Rudolph
raving about a reindeer they didn't
reindeer with a
have. It's
red
like
nose.
everyone knows the song. There's Donner
And
and Blitzen, whenever
you
there's
go
no
through it.
Rudolph at the end.
Yeah, like maybe there's like breaking news, like Santa's like going crazy, guys. Oh
Trying to
my
introduce a
god.
ninth reindeer.
Yeah. You can't just do that. And then there's like newspapers that say new reindeer just dropped. Um
Rudolph problematic?
what does the red nose really mean? But yeah, so like Santa like tries to talk to people, but people aren't helpful because they don't remember any of this kind of thing.
Mhm.
Um thoughts.
I like that,
Um
and I
Yeah.
I think maybe expand on it. A lot of Christmas Santa movies always deal with like the parents don't believe, but the kids still do. So maybe the kids
ooh,
still are like, "We think we do remember Rudolph, actually."
yeah.
And he's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's my chance. Is if I can assemble this team, get the gifts to the kids, we can save Rudolph and other people because the kids still believe, and then
Yeah.
through the kids we can get the parents too."
Yeah.
I think that's something maybe like the villain, he could create this uh, time and space jail sort of thing, but the only thing that's like holding it together is like um mental thoughts, because that's always every Christmas movie thing of
Yeah, it
like, if
is.
you believe enough, it'll fix it.
Mhm,
And so maybe like the fact that people stop believing makes the walls like stronger on the prison. And
mhm,
so like the fewer villain, or not fewer villain, the fewer mystical creatures in the world, um, fewer parents believing, like walls get stronger kind of thing. But so he's trying to like team up with enough of these guys to like get enough of the kids and maybe even some parents to believe once these people are like doing Christmas. I don't know.
mhm.
Thoughts?
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Um
The one thing I'm trying to figure out is how you beat the villain in the end.
yeah, I mean, well, belief, I guess,
Yeah.
is like,
There's
and
there's always, like, nebulous belief at the end of Santa movies,
I'm even
so that's
wondering
a
like
big
though, it's
part of
like
it.
if the villain has a good point, maybe it should be like the villain also sees. Like maybe without all these like mystical creatures or all these like symbols of Christmas, people are just like
all that's
miserable at
left is
Christmas.
capitalism.
Yeah, so I was just thinking of, like, for a sympathetic villain, a lot of the you can't make them too sympathetic of, like, "Okay, capitalism bad, we're gonna do away with this Christmas," but we can't have him go far enough to be like and replace it with something else. So he's short-sighted. He's like, "We're just gonna do away with this gift-giving capitalist season, and then there'll be nothing." And then it's like, well, look how depressed people are in the winter where there's nothing to celebrate, and they're just kinda locked in, they don't get to see their families, they don't get to um, do anything fun or experience this joy. And there is joy to be had. So maybe it's like, okay, well, you may have a point, but we can shift to it to like, oh, maybe we're going to like a soup kitchen for the
Yeah.
holidays or something. Like you can't just destroy this thing, which still has good in it. Like
I'm
that's like a Thanos thing too. It's like I'm gonna get rid of everybody to solve climate change. It's like, but you don't have a solution there. That's just get rid of it, and so it could be similar.
I might take it one step further, partially to stick with our somewhat anti-capitalist theme of all of our movies that we've had.
Wow, it could
Because I
be an
think the
insight
villain
into our
last year
own
was Jeff
personal
Bezos.
beliefs. I think it
Um,
was.
I think maybe something that we could do is say, like, once he's done this, he realizes that, like, he's created the exact type of Christmas he's wanted to avoid, like, by taking away all of the holly jolly characters, all it is capitalism.
Hmm.
And now all people are doing
Oh.
is saying like, really, like, you didn't get me this kind of thing, and like stuff like this, like very greedy kind of
People just
Christmas.
celebrate Black Friday and that's it.
Exactly, like, stuff like
Wow.
that, where it's, like, it's very much, like, consumerism, everything like that, and then he, like, realizes at some point, like, "Oh, no, I've created the exact thing I intended to destroy,"
Mhm.
and
It could
then
be like you
has
could go
to.
through a little montage. Like he
Yeah,
is walking around New York. I feel like Santa is always in New York City. He's
for
walking
sure.
around New York City or Chicago. We did Chicago last time, so
Chicago,
let's
it's
say
gotta be
Chicago.
Chicago.
Walking around Chicago, and
The New York of the
there's no
Midwest.
family. He's not seen any
The New
family
York of the
dinners
world.
in people's windows. Um,
Yeah.
there's no carolers. There's no lights anywhere, so it's just like dead nothingness. And he sees some people like throwing boxes away of like, "Oh, can't believe my mom got me the iPhone 30. I wanted the iPhone 31.
Yeah,
Useless." And then they
Mhm.
like go back inside and hide in their room. And he's like, "No, all the what I did want, the like connectedness of family and
yeah.
joy and stuff is gone because I erased the holiday part of this and
Mhm.
left just the capitalism."
I
Maybe,
also
like,
like the idea that's like maybe Christmas just gets replaced with like a second Black Friday.
I mean, essentially, right?
So it's just
Like,
people fighting.
yeah, like, over, like, greed and shit like that. I think maybe a villain is viewing all of that kind of thing, and then, like, Santa shows up magically as he's one to
Yeah.
do.
Put a hand on his
Um
shoulder and he's like, "You
exactly.
understand
Yeah.
the meaning of Christmas."
And he's like, "This isn't what I wanted. Like, all I wanted was for, like, Christmas to go back to just being about family," kind of Like,
and then it's like a shot from like over Santa's shoulder as he's like comforting him, and then we do a wide and it pans out and you see all the Christmas figures behind him, and it's like, don't worry, we can fix things.
we can make that happen. And so, like, Christmas comes back and, like, all the, like, magic to it and everything like
Mhm.
that, and I do think we have, like, a little montage of the villain and, let's be real, the villain needs a kid, like, the villain and his kid are, like, hand making gifts together and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
that could
like
maybe that could be part of it too. Of like he's like, my kid wants this thing, but I can't afford it. There's too many bills, and
yeah,
I work so hard, but I can't make enough because the big corporate overlords don't pay me to give my son the Christmas he deserves.
Mhm.
So there must be something wrong with the holiday, like taking its place
right,
around the world. Not that it's
sure.
not right, but that yeah.
Exactly, that's the whole point of, like, the villain's got a point,
Mhm,
but, like, just the way he's going about it is bad.
mhm.
Um, okay, I like this. We have 10 minutes left. Any other things we need to flesh out?
How
I
does
think
the
so.
villain like erase these characters?
That's a great
Just
point.
magic?
I'm thinking some sort of little techie whiz
Yeah, I was
buttons
thinking
guy
AI.
tech. He
that
works at, like, nameless big tech company, and
for sure.
he's working on, like, a subliminal messaging system,
Mm.
and then he's like and then he has a breakthrough. He's like, "I can use this to make people forget."
Can the prison look like a snow globe?
I like that.
Like,
Keeps with the
he's
theme.
trapped them in a giant snow globe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. And in that case, I think it could either be like if he's like working with subliminal stuff, like maybe like that could be what's powering it. Like he's hooked into like
Mhm.
brain waves.
He's got a device at the top of Sears Tower that's
Yeah.
projecting.
Every person who looks into the beam, it scans their eyes and gets their memories. Um,
um, what would be like an inciting incident for the villain of like maybe it needs something to happen of like yeah it like doesn't like Christmas because it's like so capitalist, but like what maybe there's like an inciting incident that's like oh that's it that's why like I have the ability to like change people's thoughts, but I'm only gonna do it for Christmas. Like I feel like there should be some inciting where you like
Here's what I think we do. I think we have those same news anchors that are then going to make fun of the idea of Rudolph. I think the same ones are like what open the movie. And they're like, can you believe Santa bought us $60 billion worth of gifts this year? Like stuff like that kind of thing. Like, I don't know, because I don't want it to be like too long on like this villain's origin story kind of thing.
I mean, I'm a sucker for montages, so we could have, like, a montage of, like, we open I don't know if we open it or maybe it's a flashback later on, but, like, a moment with this kid where he is or, like, his kid's excitedly talking about this new thing that he wants, and then he, like, looks over at the bills that, like, rent due, and then he, like, trudges into his job, and then at his job, all of his coworkers are like, "Oh, I got this for my child, and I got this, and I got this," and they're, like, outdoing each other, and
yeah
then it's montages of him, like, at stores, looking at all the things, um I don't know. Now I'm running out of montage ideas. But things or each place he goes, he sees people buying and trying to outdo each other with what they're buying and that they don't care about like spend time. They're like, "Oh yeah, I sent my cousin across the country for this. Oh, we're not gonna see him. I got him a couple Amazon gift cards and stuff like that."
Sure. Okay. I like that. My only thing is that, like, if we want the opening incident to be Rudolph going poof,
Yeah, I don't know. It
um,
might have to be a flashback later.
yeah, I think that's fair. I think that would fix it. Is if at some point in his villain monologue, he's like saying, like, you know why I do all of this. Yeah,
maybe
maybe
he's like
it's
had a really bad day and then like on the way home like hears carolers singing Rudolph and it's like oh I hate that song.
and he gets
Get some
an
yeah.
idea. Yeah, and he runs back to
Or
the
maybe
office.
someone is there's Kalers, but they're selling like Rudolph plushies or something. And he's
Ooh,
like,
that's even better,
that's
yeah.
all that's wrong. Rudolph is the problem. And then he starts, like he succeeds and he's like, oh, I can do this. But now I have started something and I can keep going.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. Um, yeah. Okay, what are some Yule Lad pranks that we can incorporate throughout the movie? I think this is an important part of the planning.
Like when we did the heist movie and then it was like the ferret. I forget the animal, but it's like the ferret had
It
his
was a
own heist at
ferret
the
or a
end.
weasel,
Yeah.
maybe, I
A
don't know.
weasel? Might have been a weasel. I feel like similar to what I said for the weasel, it should be a lot of background stuff.
That's pretty
Um,
good, yeah.
like maybe Santa will be having a deep conversation with someone, and in the background, one of the Yule lads is like running around and their hat's on fire, and then someone like jumps out with a fire extinguisher, but instead of pressing it, they just like bang them over the head.
That's great, that's really good. Think they should paint the bean red and green.
How did the bean feature in our Hallmark movie one? I don't remember.
I don't know if it was there a lot so much as just, like, Chicago, am I right? The best place for Christmas. It became an ad for Chicago, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
it did. It really did.
I don't know if this is, but I thought of the idea of maybe they like looked into the bean and saw each other.
Ooh.
If not, I should have incorporated that last year.
Wait, yeah, that's good. Wait, instead of the snow globe, what if the bean is the prison?
I also like now living up in Chicago. It's like I could have had so many more Chicago references.
Adam here. What are some pranky things the Yule lads could do in Chicago, the home of
I'm such
Christmas?
a burbs kid. I don't know enough about Chicago.
Let's see. What's like our surrogate character or like little kid who's like really gung ho about helping to save Christmas? Is it Villain Villain's kid?
Yeah.
Ooh, like
Okay.
in that Wonder Woman movie that was bad. Doesn't the
With
kid
Pedro
play
Pascal.
Snow? Yeah. And it's
And
like,
the dad was a
"Oh."
little doofenshmirtzy.
Yeah. Like doing it all for the kid, and the kid's like, I
Yeah.
don't want this. I just
Yeah.
want to spend time with you.
Yeah.
I think that could be fun because we do need a surrogate kid.
Yes. There always has to be a kid somewhere.
Yeah.
I feel like the kid's always the same in all the
Yeah.
Okay.
movies. Like they just love
Very
Christmas
optimistic.
and yeah,
Jeepers, mister.
optimistic.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
they're like good at heart, and but there's something wrong at home, and so they're sad, and this is gonna fix it, and then it doesn't.
Okay, I like it. I think that's good. Um, yeah. Are there anything else that we can think of? We have 4 minutes.
I think we got a good rough draft for this movie.
I think
Yeah.
so too. I think we did it.
Once again, I'd watch this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, this is great. Um,
So let's talk through it. So, movie opens. Santa Claus finished a wonderful night of Christmas. Is like, wow, great job, reindeer. And all of a sudden, Rudolph vanishes. Like maybe you're from Santa's perspective, you see the red light, and the red light just starts to dim,
Goes
and
away.
it's gone.
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's like, where did Rudolph go? And then the deer like go crazy. They're trying to land. Mrs. Claus comes, points like a giant light, like a searchlight at Santa,
Mhm.
helps
Yeah.
him land. Which I don't know. Maybe it's like pointing a laser pointer at a plane, but
That's fine.
yeah,
Santa can handle it.
exactly. North Pole magic.
Yeah.
Santa gets there, is like, what is going on?
She's got two of those landing things, but they look like candy canes.
Yes.
Um, okay, yeah. So he's like, "What's going on?"
And so then they like turn on the news, see that like maybe they see that like other
Oh
mythical
no, maybe
creatures
he
in
like puts out like a letter or like some sort of thing to say
Oh,
like, "Could
yes.
anybody help me find Rudolph, my
Mhm.
my reindeer?"
Mhm.
Yeah, and then that's when the news is all like, "This guy."
Maybe one of the hits he gets from that is one of the lads is like, "Oh, our
Yeah.
mother's gone," and he's
I love that.
so
Yeah,
then Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus have to go and investigate,
yeah,
and then they have
Mhm.
to get
I
like
like that.
the lads back together.
Mhm.
Then maybe we throw in some other fantasy creatures that go missing, and then they also like build
Mhm,
up their team.
I
mhm.
love this. Yeah.
They get
I
Krampus towards the end because I like that
Yeah.
yeah.
idea. Maybe we
It's just like
sprinkle in some, like, villain perspective stuff, and so maybe it doesn't need to be a flashback, maybe it can be, like and then we cut to the villain and,
Yeah.
um, yeah,
I think at least
yeah.
halfway
get
through we should like get a little bit on the villain. Like maybe leave the
mhm,
villain mysterious at the start and then
yes.
Yeah. So I know for the Krampus reveal, can we have it be one of those like big, scary, thundering, like walking towards the camera kind of thing? And then he's like, "Hey guys."
I like
um,
that. That's always a blast.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh man.
The
Okay.
fact that like, the Yule lads are, like, cowering behind Santa.
Yeah.
All 13 of them are hiding behind, and then Krampus comes out with, like, a hot chocolate mug, he's like,
Yeah, with some
"Hey."
marshmallows. Oh
So then
man, he's
we have all
yeah.
our mythical creatures that going around the world trying to convince people that like Christmas is still around, but then they all like keep disappearing.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And then Santa confronts the villain. Santa's probably like the only one left.
It's like Christmas Eve, the next year,
Okay, yeah, I
and
like that. Christmas Eve,
Santa
everyone else is gone.
Yeah.
There's no
yeah,
Christmas tree like, there's no decorations,
It's
no
just the
none.
lights
purge.
anywhere. Mhm.
Yeah, and, like, the shopping purge, and, like,
Or, yeah,
um
maybe Santa's, like, looking around the city of Chicago, there's nothing, and then as he's looking out, there's nothing, there's, like he looks into a window of news reports about, like, people barricading their windows, getting ready for this new shopping holiday that's gonna be crazy. It'd be like, Black Friday's got nothing on this, a
Mhm.
and all that, and then we cut to the villain doing the same, walking around and looking, it's like, "Oh no, my plan has failed. Everything's backfired on me," and then they run into each other, and then that's the moment. Maybe they run into each other at the bean, if
yeah,
the bean is or I don't know if
we
I like
gotta
the bean
have
being I feel like the bean's gotta be there, but I don't know if I like the bean being the prison, and
that's fair.
maybe, uh,
It can be a snow globe.
they have their heart to heart,
Yeah.
he frees all of the people from whatever jail they're in. Maybe he carries it on them if it's a snow globe, and then
Ooh, that's good, he's
and
got a
now
little mini version. Yeah.
so it could be that of like they take the snow globe, and then Santa's like, "You do it," and he takes it and smashes on the ground, and then all the mythological
I
figures
love
are all
that.
around them, and then they all are like, "Don't worry, we can
We
save
can
it."
fix this,
I like
and
that.
then, like, you get the big Christmas
Big,
moment of,
yeah,
like, them going around the world
mhm.
and, like,
We
doing
got
all the
Santa's
Christmassy
sleigh,
things.
lady on her broomstick. Krampus is like
Krampus, like,
jumping roof to
chasing some
roof.
kids.
The Yule lads pop up in random places.
Drawing a mustache on some kid's face while he's
Mhm.
sleeping.
They like hastily like throw Christmas trees through windows and
Yeah, and they, like, pop up almost cartoonishly with, like,
Mhm.
everything decorated.
Mhm.
I think this is great.
Yeah.
I think it's a hit.
I like
Ryan,
it.
you said last week, when's the last time a classic Christmas movie came out?
We're
Today.
we're
Today,
making a
yeah.
line.
Oh, man. Well, that's all the time we have,
Yeah. What's the
for
title for this movie?
Mm.
Christmas
uh
Never Dies.
Yeah, I think that's it. Um, Christmas Never Go Dies, I think is just a winner. I was trying to think of Something Saves Christmas, but I look so deep in thought.
No, I'm like trying to think of Christmas songs and lines you can pull from them, and I'm coming up blank. So,
Mhm.
Fair.
or puns
Um,
you can make off famous Christmas songs, but I need more time and like a list of songs.
I really liked that David Harbour. I didn't ever see the movie, but it's the
I
David
did. It's
Harbour
great.
one.
Yeah,
Okay, I want to watch it.
it's
Wait, what's
really
the
good.
Violent Night is a great name.
Yes.
Violent Night?
Yeah, it's about
Yeah.
Santa. Someone like breaks into like someone's home, and then Santa comes to deliver presents, but then he has to like take out all the
That's
people to save the
really
family.
funny.
It's very good.
That's
I gotta watch
hilarious.
it.
Oh my god. Um, yeah, that's so good. Um, all right. What ran on y'all's parades?
had something at the start of this, but now I
I
can't remember it.
I did too. I had something, and then it
Christmas
was a
solves all.
um I guess minor. My AC broke earlier this week, but then my apartment fixed it the next day. So
Nice.
That's good. Yeah.
that's the entire story. But it was like, oh no, it's really cold in here. And then I saw that it was broken, and but very responsive apartment. So good news. Not everyone can say that about their apartment buildings, and so nice to have people who are responsible. I guess too. I was telling Ryan this earlier, but I've had stuff wrong in my apartment like since I moved in that I just
Are you like
haven't
not able
gotten
to
around.
run your dishwasher and microwave at the same time? Like
Yes, but I don't think that's fixable. I think that's just an intrinsic thing that I can't run any two appliances at the same time. I find it's the same with the garbage disposal. That I can't run garbage disposal and dishwasher at the same time. I have not tried garbage disposal and microwave, but so maybe at
fair
least
enough.
nothing with the dishwasher. Uh, but I don't think that's fixable. There was other stuff of like the shower drain was bad, so if you took a shower, you'd wind up with like maybe ankle deep water by the end of it.
Yeah.
Um, and it was like annoying, but not annoying enough to
Yeah.
fix. And other stuff of like there was the light in the refrigerator was out, so I
Mm,
finally got around to putting work orders in, and those all got fixed. So,
When I was in the
nice.
dorm, I had that like shower, like the wire would just like get up to your ankles. What I did is I just took a plunger to the drain and just plunged it a bunch of times, and that
oh.
fixed it.
Or Drano.
So my mom had bought Drano. That's what we tried when we
It
first
didn't
moved
work?
in, and she dumped the entire like I don't know carton
They're
of
big.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't. I mean, it was worse. So it fixed it like it alleviated it, but
Yeah.
it was
That's crazy.
Now you gotta try a plunger.
Yeah, try blender.
yeah.
That sounds good.
Next time.
Um,
I mean, I know it's just something that
Yeah.
happens. So
yeah. Hmm. You got anything, Ryan?
I remembered something at the start, but the other thing I told Adam about this. I got the new Avatar game, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, and I'm a huge Avatar fan,
For
as
sure.
you know, resident Avatar expert. Um, and the game is beautiful. However, the game just does not run well, and I have like a very state of the art computer. Like, if anyone should be able to run that game, I should. And
Right.
it just has weird issues. Like, you'll go to a cutscene and then you'll see like all the Navi like standing around, and they'll just be frozen in place, and you have to like wait 5 seconds, and then the cutscene will start. And also the audio will just cut out. Like, there's three different things. You'll have like the music, you'll have characters talking, and you'll have like the ambient noise and sound effects. And it can't run all three at once, which is weird. So like
Yeah.
you might be in like a conversation and there'll be music going on, and then like the ambient noise, like the forest, will just cut in and out. It's very unpleasant to play, and I don't know what's up with it. So I'm just gonna wait for a bit till they like fix the game and then play it.
Fair enough. How new is it?
It came out like Friday, I think, so
Oh,
it's
okay.
pretty new.
Fair enough.
So it's like, dang,
Yeah.
I miss the days where like games worked when you bought them.
Right.
yeah.
Like they were good when they came out, and you didn't need to wait like 2 or 3 months past the release date for it to actually be playable.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fair enough. It's- we were talking before. I really just feel like I've had like such a nothing week. I went to the DC holiday market, which was great, fun little time. Got a lot of like stocking stuffer kind of things, which is great. Um, other than that, just very very chill, which is good. But nothing really to note, and I wish there was more.
Sometimes that
But
happens. You just have a week
yeah,
where not a whole lot.
yeah, kind of just a week happened. But
You live another week, and that was that.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I got nothing.
I remember what rained on my parade. So I went shopping at the grocery store and I got
Yeah,
wrapping paper because there's tons
classic.
of it and usually it's pretty cheap.
Mhm.
And so I was like, oh, I don't know where any is. So the first thing I walked in and there was a display rack with wrapping paper, and
Perfect.
there were like two on there. And
Mhm.
like one was sort of longer, one was sort of shorter, one was like Santa, the other was like candy cane. I was like, okay, these are cool. But there was no price. And I was like, okay, well that's annoying. I can't be that much. So I got both of those. And then as I was shopping some more, there was a Christmas aisle and there was another thing of wrapping paper that said like $2.50. And I was like, that's not bad for like a thing of wrapping paper. I'll get it.
Mhm.
So then I go to checkout. The one that was supposed to be $2.50 was actually $3.99. And I was very annoyed because there was like all these like different racks of them, and I think people just threw them in.
Oh,
So
Oh.
sure.
I was like, okay, $3.99, whatever. But that was
Yeah.
like the biggest roll I'd gotten. And then I got the other two from like the front of the store. I checked that one out. That one was $4.99. And I did the last one. I was like, this one is tiny and isn't that big. And it said $5.99. And I was like,
Oh
well,
my
I've
gosh.
already got these. I'm not gonna put them back. But it's a little
Yeah.
silly. I didn't see the price.
That's crazy
And
for
the
like a
smaller
little
they get, the more expensive.
Exactly. I was like, what the heck? These better be like good wrapping paper.
Are they like fancy
Yeah, how
looking or
good
is
can
it
wrapping
just
paper really get?
like,
It's still wrapping paper.
it's very silly. If you know what? I'll be right back.
Yeah, find it. Wrapping paper reveal.
For those who are listening, this is a good reminder that we have a video version of this
Yeah,
podcast
I'll
on
describe
Spotify
these
and
two.
YouTube.
So this one here is like penguins. It's
Yeah.
pretty big.
Pretty
It's a good
cute.
size.
Yeah.
I don't know, probably like 3 feet long. This one was $3.99. Not bad.
Yeah.
This one
I feel
here
like that
is
one's reasonably
red
priced.
with snowmen on it. This
Mhm.
guy was $4.99. I was like,
For
okay,
listeners, the red
it's
is like a
smaller.
little metallic.
And the
A little
smallest
shiny.
one,
Yeah.
very simple, red and white candy cane,
Oh yeah.
$5.99. It's just red
That's
and
Not
by
the
white.
far
most
the
expensive one.
It's not that many colors. Why is it so expensive?
the most boring. It's not shiny like the last one.
It like there's a little shine on the red, but it's not.
Well,
It's
but that
worth
might be
it.
special, yeah.
the wrapper on the outside.
That's true too. It might not actually be shiny. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the first one I was like, yeah, I would buy that for $3.99.
Yeah,
Yeah, easy.
it wasn't bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Like sucks that it was unorganized and it was like a,
Was it
Yeah,
$2.50 as
mislabeled.
dollar
described?
$1.50
But
more,
yeah,
but like I would still buy it for the price it is.
exactly.
The others, I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's too much for wrapping paper.
That's certain. We should
Yeah,
put the price somewhere on it.
yeah. Like there's a label on there that you could very easily just put a price
Exactly.
on.
Oh,
I'm so sorry. That is highway robbery,
very silly.
but
That's
the
what
wrapping
rained on my
paper
parade. It's
variety.
like, dang, I'm really out here spending $15 on wrapping paper.
On the thing that they're gonna like tear off and throw away. Like,
Yeah.
I
oh
mean, I
man,
don't use that much wrapping paper, so this will last a while. So,
that's good. Fair enough.
and some people might be getting Christmas presents with wrapping paper, so or birthday presents with wrapping paper this year.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough. Alrighty. Well, watch out for wrapping paper prices.
Exactly. Highway robbery.
Highway robbery. Watch out for
The
villains
Yule
who want to
lads.
ruin. Oh, watch out for the Yule lads. Oh my God, those pranksters. And
Watch
that was
out for Roman history videos on YouTube because they're very good.
watch out for when this podcast just becomes a Roman history podcast, despite my best efforts to stop it.
You weren't
Alrighty.
expecting that Roman history turn, just like the Romans weren't expecting Caesar to cross the Rubicon into Rome.
Have a sunny Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye.